Alrighty. It is time once again for CJ's Corner, where we help you craft stories that will captivate, engage, and influence your audience. I'm your host, CJ Powers, and I've got to say that today has me a little excited because this is something that I'm going to be teaching that is standard in many industries, but for some reason, people just don't grasp it and hold it. They hear different variations on this. For instance, we're basically talking about how to write a beginning, middle, and end of your story. Okay, that sounds normal. But I tell you what, it's not normal because we're not going to talk about it from the standpoint of the beginning, middle, and end, but instead I'm going to define it for you based on the 3 A's of storytelling. Let's get started. Alrighty, it is time to get started again. Oh, I forgot I have that popping up automatically. But we're going to talk today about the 3 A's of story. That's right, the 3 A's. Now, the thing about the 3 A's is that they are very, very specific, and we're going to go through all 3 points one at a time. First, anticipation. That's right, we're going to help the audience to anticipate what they think might be coming, but keeping the curiosity intact so they have to find out. Here's what we're talking about. Anticipation. This person is reaching for a flower. Okay, big deal, right? What does it mean? So what? They're reaching for a flower. What exactly does that do? Well, are they reaching it to touch it to see what it feels like? Or to maybe snap it off and keep it for themselves? Or are they going to do something else with it, like just pull it closer to them so they could smell it? We don't know yet what they're going to do, but we see them reaching, so we know something is going to happen. That's how we create anticipation. We have to develop something that has multiple possibilities for the person to anticipate the fact that they need to know the answer. Whenever we write a given scene or a chapter in a book, we need to give the audience something, a reason to want to continue reading on or watching the movie. If it's a business presentation, you have to give them a reason to want to listen all the way through to the end of the point you're about to make. Think of it this way. If I wanted to have you question or become curious about something, I need to actually raise the question in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be by asking you a question. It could be by me saying things that allude to something that may or may not have an answer. But I need to have it done in a way where you believe the answer is just around the corner, so you're going to pay attention for that answer. Okay? So that's anticipation. That's what anticipation is all about. The next step is called action. Now, in action, we do things a little bit differently because instead of just anticipating something, and I don't want to cheat here on my screen. There we go. The action is the actual thing that happens. It might be one of those moments where the person goes, or it might be, oh, yeah. Lots of different possibilities. In this case, the person actually snapped the flower off into their hand. So with the action, it has to be definitive. It has to actually occur. It needs to be succinct in the story flow. So they're anticipating that they're reaching for something, and then they snap it off is the action. In the action, the reason we call action is because there's movement, or at least movement emotionally. That's right. It can be emotional movement. So, for instance, if we take a look at things from the standpoint that this is a dramatic story or a dramatic moment, the person has to get to the point where something happens, and that something needs to be a change. So if they start fearful, they need to become confident. If they start arrogant, they need to be humbled. Whatever the change is, if they're moving so quickly, they need to relax. You need to be able to find something that makes sure that there's a significant change. Okay, next we move on to aftermath. Aftermath. Now the thing about aftermath, here's the screen, is that the person realizes, oh my goodness, now that I picked my flower, it has wilted. It is no longer alive. Now the aftermath could have been different. For this particular story, I could have had the aftermath being the person handing the beautiful flower to a special partner, and them just glowing and radiating because it symbolized their love. The aftermath can be anything you want it to be. In this case, I just happened to say, let's have them be disappointed because they ended up killing the flower. But again, whatever the beginning is, you have to be in that place where you're trying to determine, how do I get the audience to anticipate what's happening, then have the action take place so they know, oh, that's what's happened. And then the aftermath is the conflict or consequence that drives them to the next part of the story. In other words, the anticipation, action, and aftermath is on a scene-by-scene basis, chapter-by-chapter basis, sometimes section-by-section of your story basis. And the aftermath is either going to be the consequence, which could be positive or negative, or it can be a new introduction of a new conflict that causes the person to start questioning things again, and they need to watch or read more to find out what the answer is. So that's it. Those are the 3 A's of story: anticipation, action, aftermath. I hope this has been helpful to you, and I hope you can pass things along so that friends and neighbors can enjoy it as well. Have a great day.